So this is your neighborhood.
Very cozy and comfortable.
What did you like about it?
Well, the people here are very intelligent. They are all here at the age of around 40, maybe even around 30. Almost all of them are Dutch. And by communicating closely with them, you can discover their mentality, their culture. They are quite discreet, welcoming, and positive people. My family is my husband, my daughter, 14 years old, and my son, Matveyka, 5 years old.
My name is Жанна. I have a son, Nikita, 2 years old. We moved to the Netherlands because of the Russian world.
Well, honestly, we discovered on the internet what is the happiness coefficient for people. We looked it up and we went there.
We went to the Netherlands at the end of March, as I was working in the Red Cross Emergency Response Unit for a month. On the border between Ukraine and Slovakia, we helped people after the evacuation trains to cross the border, to dress, eat, and provide medical assistance. Then my daughter received confirmation that she had been accepted to study at Erasmus University, as it was planned since October, before the war. From a security point of view, and because there is some kind of assured future, we felt it was very important to preserve the psycho-emotional state and keep the children safe. We've decided to go to the Netherlands.
I had a customer of mine. I knew that her husband was from the Netherlands. I see she has an active story. Who wants to move to the Netherlands? Write to private messages. So I texted her. And Ksenia replied me, Natasha, come here, everything will be fine, I will help you.
My name is Ksenia Negrutsahotska. I am 32 years old. I'm actually doing marketing and I have a consultancy agency. Half of my team is in Kyiv, some in Berlin and a few in Amsterdam. On the first day of the war, February 24th, my plane was supposed to land in Kyiv. I woke up at 5 a.m. I was about to go to the airport and my husband said to me, "You're probably not going anywhere. Russian missiles were faster than my plane." And from the first hours of the war, we both, my husband and I, put all our businesses and all our activities on pause. At first, we started by helping family and close people, but after 2 days, we realized that we had to be more efficient. So we created a fund, officially registered here. We realized that if we want to help more people effectively and efficiently, we need to appeal to other people, to volunteers. The first focus is on helping Ukrainian migrants, but we don't call them migrants, refugees or the such. We call them Ukrainian guests here.
My name is Natalia. I'm from the capital of Ukraine, the city of Kiev. I was working as a designer-decorator during peacetime. Everything was going fine for me in my measured life. My husband and I have a big, happy family. We have 3 children, an older daughter, Uliana, a younger son, Leonid, who is 4, and a younger daughter, Bogdana, who is 1.5 years old. We didn't believe until 5 o'clock in the morning of 24th February that there would be a war. In fact, it was just out of the blue. It was 5 in the morning. We were asleep. I heard explosions. I'm usually a very light sleeper. I didn't even woke up anyone. I just jumped up frantically and started running around the flat. I started getting some stuff in a pile and just threw it on the floor. It continues to rumble and rumble outside. I opened the window and saw the flames from the side where Жанна lives. That's it. All hell was breaking loose. When the situation worsened and your child says to you, "Mom, if we get bombed, we will die immediately," it's so horrible. It's awful when you're sitting in that basement.
You don't know if you'll have milk to cook porridge for your kid.
Yes, and the kid asks you to eat. You can't give him that. He has limited nourishment. You'll tell him, "I'll give it to you later. I don't have it now." And he doesn't understand, "But I want to eat." You explain to him that there is no such soup, there is no food. When we realized that this war was going to be a long one, we decided that we had to go any further.
I was on my way to Berlin. I had friends in Berlin who were waiting for me, with whom I got in touch first. Then I realized that no one expected it to be long. Even me. I didn't plan on being here a long time. I wanted to go back home. I realized that I shouldn't live at friends' homes, but rather approach it from a more strategic point of view. When you have some sort of commitment for a few months at least. So I appealed to my friends here in Netherlands, who made a foundation called the Netherlands for Ukraine, who are in charge of refugee reception, resettlement, assistance, and so on. You fill in a special blank there and you are allocated to the accommodation that is available. The idea is to give the person who comes here a chance to settle down and have a quality life. Find a job, place a child in a kindergarten, a school, find your place in this country and not break your life in a shelter somewhere halfway through.
We are here in one of the buildings of my company, and that's my work. I'm one of the owners of the company, and we buy and renovate buildings and re-rent them. And so I had contact to Bas Kocha. They were asking for hosting, and because my company, we own several buildings, so I reacted, if it's necessary, we can make some places. And we did, and that's why now we can host 12 Ukrainian people, family.
I said 12 souls because they need not only help from us for to have. I don't know the word in English. In Dutch and Ukraine, the same dak.
First of all, they helped us with housing. They helped us with necessities. These are shoes, outwear, tracksuit, pajamas for Ulyanka, jeans, summer t-shirts, new clothes of our size that were sent to us. They were big packages that really gave us a nice shock. Here is a painting that was also brought to us as a gift. I think it makes the house more cozy and reminds us of Ukraine. This is our living room where we spend maximum time with the family. We like to get together around a big table, which we also took a while to get. The stuff was filling up little by little. Each thing has a specific backstory. Each thing has been brought to us by different people. The sofa was actually in someone's garage. I cleaned it for hours, and it's in a good condition now. Everything here, every single thing, the cupboard, the basket, the toys, the clothes, it was all given to us by different people.
The Dutch?
Yes, the Dutch.
Але вони нічого не потребують. Ми навіть обговорюємо це в чаті. Нам сказали, що українці не просять нічого. Коли ти запитуєш в них, вони кажуть ні. І наступного разу у ній не треба. І вже потім, коли ти запитаєш в них третій раз, тоді, можливо, вони скажуть так. Ми постійно запитуємо в них, що їм потрібно.
After living here for a while, several people have already told us, please don't hesitate to ask us, because when you ask, we can help you. You don't expect such kindness from strangers. We are in Wemelding at the moment. It's a tourist town, as it turns out. We rented half a cottage via booking. We rented it for 3 days. We had met the owner of the cottage. He's also a nice man. He came to visit us and brought the children a construction set, felt tip, pens, paints, a whole plastic box of stuff, shovels, and rake. It was a great joy for the children. For our eldest daughter, there were notepads, so she can write something. It's really nice. He came to visit us. We went to reception, said we had come with our family, and asked if it would be possible for us to stay here at a minimum cost. They said yes, okay. We would chat in a special chat room with the owners of those houses, because we have cottages that are not rented out via the booking service. And then we got a call after 2 days saying that they were ready to accommodate us for 3-4 months until you settle in and find a job. They said that there is a summer house of a family who rarely come here now. And they wanted to kindly meet us, come and accommodate us. It was Жанna's birthday on 17th March. She had an anniversary. They came and accommodated us. We got to know each other, drank tea together. They didn't know it was Жанna's birthday, such a gift. The gift of life, of destiny. And we keep in touch with them now. They live 35-40 kilometers away. They are aged. They write to us, worried about us, because our children have been sick here due to adaptation. The locals were kind enough to help us call an ambulance, because here it's not like in Ukraine. We were shocked that the temperature of 40 is considered normal here.
For the moment, the ship behind me is our home for a while longer. 1 cabin per family is allocated. For singles, cohabitants can be found and they stay together. There are 3 of us in the room. The rooms on the upper decks there has balconies, and the rooms on the lower decks has only windows. As for the food, there are no kitchens. Meals are prepared for us in the kitchen of the restaurant on the ship. The ship doesn't rock. It stands stationary. At least you can't feel it at all. It looks like a large communal flat. The city administration tried to set up locations with a larger number of Ukrainians together. Therefore, the ship Rotterdam is one of those locations, with over 1,000 people now, with 1,500 planned. I was lucky. I found a very nice accommodation here very quickly. I have an awesome host family. They are Dutch. I live here near the Museum Square. We live in a 1.5-story classic Amsterdam cottage. We are quite independent But of course, we communicate. We stay in friendship with our host family. We organize dinners together. They congratulate my son Danya on his birthday. Sometimes they can take him to school instead of me. Sometimes I feel like we've been adopted. This is very pleasant, and it's really respectful, delightful, and humane.
I work as an HR in an IT company. We arrived in the Netherlands in early March. First, we were in the north of the Netherlands. We have been here for 3 weeks. The family that hosts us are friends of my sister, who has been living in the Netherlands for 12 years. I think we are fortunate here because we have our own space, completely independent of the host family. They do everything to make us feel like at home. The hosts live on the ground and the first floors, and the second floor has been given to us. We have a tradition that once or twice a week, one of us cooks dinner or brunch. Today it's our turn. We've cooked dinner. Our host family is going to join us for dinner tonight. Today we have stuffed peppers and vareniki. The host family are vegetarians, and the hostess is a vegan. So we try to make sure that everyone tastes good and enjoys trying new dishes. Everyone is worried and empathetic towards us. No matter what topic is touched upon in the conversation, every topic turns to the situation in Ukraine.
When we heard about the war, we were shocked, and also because of Tatiana, we were shocked, but also because Ukraine is very close and it was so sudden. And we normally go walking on Sunday mornings with the two of us, and then we talked about it. Will it be a good idea to split our house and give some space to people? Yeah. And we talked about it while walking on Sunday morning. And when you want to give somebody comfort, you really want to give comfort and not with a deadline. Yeah. Exactly. So we discussed this with the kids, and I think it was a discussion of 5 minutes, because they immediately said, yes, of course we do that.
Yeah. So you just happen to be in a situation that you have to stay in another country, in another house, and everything is strange. And what can we do to make it a little bit more home? Mm-hmm. And I had the idea of the Maidan Square. Because it's that symbolic of for Ukraine, of course.
To make you feel more at home.
Yeah.
I meet people here who help in any way they can. It was the same in a village in the north of the country, where everyone tries to do something to support and help you.
My name is Jan-Willem Verkerk. I'm living on this boat with a Ukrainian girlfriend. And on the day that Putin invaded Ukraine, and of course I called home to Tatiana, my girlfriend, and first she didn't really respond. And the second day I talked to her, and she couldn't stop crying anymore, thinking about her mother and sister there, and my only thought was, let's do something to get at least the sister and mother out of there. So that's how it started for me. And when I wanted to do that, I said to my company, I said, I'm going away for a while and picking up someone there at the border, and at that moment the reaction that the company gave and said, okay, just go, and of course you don't have to have days off for that, but we want to help you as well. And the intense reaction that sort of triggered the next step for us.
I think that day you made me your sidekick, so I was actually I was the person putting in the WhatsApp that our company has, like, hey, the story of Jan Willem, Ukrainian girlfriend, and how he was gonna pick up mother and sister at the border. And within that day, the response was overwhelming. We said, like, we want to get her some clothes, we want to get her necessities, medicines, and within half a day, we had more than Jan Willem actually could carry in one trip. Yeah. And that was the start of actually a bigger ambition and a bigger reason to go again. Realizing how close it comes and the needs that everyone needs to do something to help. So that started this whole week of preparations, which eventually ended in us going with 3 vans to the Ukraine, or to the border of Ukraine. And we had on our vans, we had stickers, so very big stickers, and we called it Drive for Ukraine, I believe it said.
I just had a very small role, but I really, really wanted to help in some way, in whatever way. And I'm usually the person you call when you want something to happen fast. I mean, for some reason, I get on the phone and start calling and organize things. And that's exactly what I did when Jan Willem called me. I think he texted me. Mm-hmm. And I was very happy at that moment to be of help. And he sent me an enormous list of, I can't remember, medication and all kinds of heavy products you need for war, you know. And the thing what happens is I just get into the action modus and went to my local pharmacy. Mm-hmm. And started organizing it. So I got as much as I could. Then I started calling the main hospital here in Amsterdam, and apparently, and I got through very fast to some high man, I don't know who, I can't remember his name, but as soon as I started talking about the Salonis drive, he immediately was interested.
Well, when you got to your location, because I wasn't in that car, I think that was an impressive moment.
It really was. It was in a small village in Poland, and they had at that point 4,000 Ukrainian people that they gave that they had there as refugees. That was the location where we, with our van, would drive to bring the goods, the medicine, and the food and the clothes that we had. And what Jan Willem referred to, and that is for us, it was such an eye-opener, because we sometimes hear here on the news, like, oh no, they don't need clothes, or they don't need this, or that's not needed. But they really made us see how much it's needed, because it's a small village. There's 4,000 people there. And again, they were super grateful, and it was amazing. One of the girls spoke very well English, so she was really good, very much able to also explain their situation. And we came there with just that one van, and they were like, wow, this is fantastic, and it will last us for 2 days. So that's the point, right? That you realize, okay, there's so much more needed, and there is so much more that we can do and that we should be doing. Yeah. So it was a good start, and it was also very eye-opening, I think.
The Dutch people who help us, we simply call them holy people. We have Holy Anne, Holy Gerard, a holy someone else. I really mean it. Because for Ukrainians, it's clear we are in pain, so we help. And the Dutch had their own life. They absolutely stopped it. Started spending dozens of hours of their time helping Ukrainians. That's why we call them holy people. For me, these people are very close mentally, open-minded. Their lifestyle, their attitude, the children should be happy. There should be a happy and comfortable life. That's close to me. Honestly, the Netherlands, you have my deepest gratitude. Everything is so comfortable, everything was well thought out and organized.
A place where Ukrainians can come and get administrative help is the Ukrainian House. The Ukrainian House was created on the initiative of the municipality of Rotterdam. The idea was to create a place where they could help Ukrainians and where Ukrainians could meet.
We have a library. Just today, we've received books from the Lviv publishing house. We have a children's space. All the toys here are donations from Dutch citizens. Children can come here, get presents, and have toys they like. There are puzzles and educational games for the little ones. A variety of workshops are held with this here, like it was just this morning.
At this moment we have the Ukrainian house and they have a social function and a formal function. The social function is that people can come here to talk with each other about their experiences. They can have some food over here. They can have a drink and talk about life, about normal things. We also have a playground for children. They can get games for their kids. They can also get some baby food sometimes if we get this offered from other shops. We also have a second-hand clothing area, so if people need clothes, they can get it. We also have a formal function. That means that people can come here to ask questions. Every municipality of Rotterdam, they have a help desk that's called the Vraagwijzer. And we also have a part of the Vraagwijzer in the Ukrainian house. And people can come here to ask questions about their living allowance, about schools, about their insurance, stuff like this. And everything that they need that they don't know, they can ask over here.
As for registration, when we arrived here, the neighbors told us that we had to go to Gimenta. Gimenta is a social service. We were told to wait a little while because the state hasn't yet figured out how to provide you all with help. We had to wait. And we were waiting. Then we got an appointment. When we arrived, we were given questionnaires, we filled them out, and at the moment we have BSN numbers. From April 1st, we have been given social welfare support.
The payments provided by the Dutch government are classified into several categories, one of which, for example, is for those people who live in locations provided by the city's municipality. Those people are provided with food, receive 55 euros per month per person. The other category is for people who live in host families or in locations where food is not provided. In that case, 205 euros more are added to their meal allowance. Up to 55 euros, an additional 205 euros are added. A third category is people who live in the houses of the Dutch, or they were given these premises. They are paid about 270 euros, if I'm not mistaken, but it's not their personal money. They have to give most of this money to the property owners because, firstly, it's for utility costs. And secondly, if the Dutch invite someone to their home, it is considered as a service. So they earn money, and the Dutch have to pay more tax. The Netherlands is not a cheap country, absolutely not, even in regard to the cost of housing. Firstly, it is almost impossible to find any here. There are so many students, so many tourists. For months, it's a minimum of 1,500 euros. Well, it is possible to find a 1,200 euro apartment with worse conditions, plus the cost of utilities. Public transport is very expensive. Indeed, most of the money that is allocated is spent on it. Gasoline is also very expensive. For Ukrainian guests, not refugees, but guests, there are so many cool services, food banks, for example. This is an organization that provides free meals. You apply, come in at a certain time, and they give you a fresh, high-quality meal fruit, vegetables, meat, personal hygiene items, and so on. You can do it once a week. You apply at your gemeente. Gemeente is a municipality. You can find out where it is located, and you use the services of such an organization. The second thing is that there are so many different initiatives where you can get clothes for free. Thirdly, there is no need to go to the supermarkets. Go to markets, it will be cheaper.
We started to pay attention to the food, because in fact, this is what the most money is spent on. That's why we used, how is it called? Too Good To Go app. Too Good To Go app. Let me explain. In the supermarket, 2 kilos of potatoes cost 3.49 euros. The price is 3.49 euros for 2 kilos. And this app has a promotion that appears every 6 days, as we noticed, and 12.5 kilos bag of potatoes there costs 4.99 euros. And the drop-off point is only 3 kilometers away. The app assigns a time age from 16 to 17. You have to come and pick up this bag of potatoes. That's how we bought tomatoes recently. Tomatoes are very expensive here, 3.29 euros a kilo. We bought 5 kilos for 4.99 euros, but we drove 8 kilometers from here to pick it up. Oh, it wasn't 5 kilos, it was 6 kilos tomatoes for 4.99 euros, just imagine. The tomato twigs smell like vegetable garden, just like at home in Ukraine.
Traditionally, to get an idea of the price level, we asked our director to buy products for making borscht at a local shop.
The Dirk shop is the cheapest in the Netherlands. So this is our borscht set. And it costs 16 euros 29 cents at the Dirk shop in Rotterdam. Not bad.
The people from Ukraine, they have to register over here so that we know who are in our city and who are not. And when they register, they get a SOFI number, personal number, so we know who they are, and then we can help them with finding a job. We don't know if the diplomas that they have are always equal to the diploma that we need in Holland. That's also up to the people that give the job to the people. But we try to help them as good as we can. For example, there was a lady that came here like 2 months ago, and now she works as a manager at a store. It was not her job that suits her experience, but it's a good job for her right now.
What I'm very proud of and what I hear from many Dutch people is the first question from Ukrainians, how can I find a job? And they really appreciate it. It is in line with their values.
I got a job in a factory. It's a big enterprise called Coaster Buyer, which is located in the port. I go there for work. This position is not consistent with my diploma. Many people in Ukraine don't understand me, but I can tell you that I'm that kind of a person who tries to help in Ukraine as well. I have many friends who volunteer and they need money for petrol. Hi guys! There is a conveyor belt in production and barrels of juice, concentrate, or strawberry, or mango puree on it have to be opened. I stand on the line and open them up. Money doesn't come easy. I can tell you that. My back hurts after a day's work. but I get used to it. And also I do some exercises. Regarding taxes, I've read and signed a contract. There are gross and net. The net is the salary with deductions. You get a check and you can see all the deductions. We have a weekly salary every Monday. 11 euros per hour. That's 500 euros a week, tax included. We were told that for starting out, it is a very good salary. It was the company's decision to help Ukrainians in this way. There are two working shifts. The morning shift starts at 6:30 a.m. The second shift starts at 3:45 p.m. And we finished at 11:30 p.m. Plus, we drive 30 kilometers to work.
There are plenty of jobs in the Netherlands. I know that for sure there are different jobs for different professions, for different levels of employment in terms of time and qualifications. If you speak English well, it is easy to get a job. If you speak little English, it is possible to find a job. If you don't speak English at all, it is still possible, but you will have to search a little longer.
I am planning and already trying to improve my English, because after graduating from university, I completely forgot it. All Dutch people speak English, and English is the second language here, so they know it very well. I will try to learn the Dutch language, since I'm in a country that sheltered us. We learned some words with Uliana in order to please the people who hosted us. They learn Ukrainian from us, and we want to speak their language to be closer with them. We really want to be closer with them.
We had the same problem to use Google Translate, so we had the same problem.
Yes,
But it's very nice to use it.
yeah, it's very nice that we can laugh with them about the things. They will be different. It's Ukrainian people have nice humor. We learn to say the good question. Yeah. That's very important.
I can see some cultural differences between the Dutch people and the Ukrainian people. For example, when I started to work here, lots of Ukrainian people, or the first time a woman asked me, do you have a blood pressure machine? And I said, well, that's not normal for me to have it inside, in my job or in the place where I work. And then another woman comes to ask me this, and another family, and we're talking about the blood pressure. So I said to the talk, is this a cultural thing? And then she told me, well, we are very, we give ourselves our own treatment every time in Ukraine. We go to the doctors a lot to have a scan of our bodies. And if we have, for example, if you have a headache over here, we know what to do with it. So they're very self-educated with the medicines. And they get high doses of antibiotics. We are not used to this in the Netherlands. So are very attracted to health and the things to do with it.
They have a different attitude towards treatment. They believe that everything should happen by itself. If your eye hurts in Ukraine, you get eye drops right away. But here you are offered paracetamol.
Thank God we haven't had to seek medicine here yet. But from the reviews I've heard, things move very slowly here. There are 2 hospitals in Rotterdam that take in Ukrainians in case of emergency. On the ship where we live, there is the rescue service, where nurses are always on duty there. If necessary, they arrange for appointment. They refer you to one or the other specialist. They're like family doctors who refer you to specialists for consultation. If you are a Ukrainian who comes here, you automatically get insurance called basic insurance. On one hand, you can claim treatment here. If there is a need for an ambulance, you go to the hospital and you get that care. But if it is a non-urgent treatment, you need to get a BSN number. This is like our Ukrainian identification number. Then you go to the family doctor and he gives you a referral list to a hospital or other institution. We cooperate with the Inspiration Family Foundation and help adult cancer patients. We bring them here. We help them with accommodation and, above all, with treatment. But the problem is that in European countries, many hospitals are overcrowded with cancer patients. People are frightened to come here without any commitments from the hospitals, with no arrangements in place. So we contact the hospitals, we provide all the information, documentation, we find out where it is better to go, where these people will be accepted quicker. That's how it works. And the treatment is free.
When we got the BSN number, our curator Frederica and her husband called one of the kindergartens to arrange for Ilya to be placed there. We were totally happy with the kindergarten. We went on a tour, got to know the teachers who had children in 4 groups there. We went to one of them, a very good educator who is very sympathetic to Ilya, because it was not easy for him to go to a kindergarten. So he was needed an adaptation period. Regarding school, Uliana goes to a specialized school. Of course, she was accepted into a general one, but I didn't see the usefulness of that school. I was talking to the teachers on the playground, and they told me to go up to the principal. As our situation is non-standard, they assured us that we would be accepted to that school. But we didn't go to that school because we decided that Ulyanka needed an adaptation period to overcome the language barrier in another school.
The main reason why she didn't go to a general school is because she doesn't know Dutch. The education is in Dutch there, so there would have been no benefit to her if she had gone to that school. First of all, we start at a school with advanced learning of the Dutch language, and when she's able to communicate in the language, she can go to a general school.
We have 2 children who are 5 and 14 years old. There are 2 schools here for a 5-year-old child. Turns out that from the age of 4, children already go to school here. We came to the school. The school had been already warned beforehand by Gementa that a Ukrainian family would be there. We were interviewed. Everything was great. Matvey doesn't understand anything, but he likes everything. The eldest daughter goes to school 35 kilometers away.
How does she do it?
At 7 a.m., we take her to the bus. She takes the bus for 8 kilometers. Then she transfers to a train and goes to Middelburg. And in Middelburg, she walks 25 minutes to school. The journey unfortunately takes 1 hour and 15 minutes approximately. School is free for us. All you need is a pen, a pencil, and a pencil case with you. They were given everything at the expense of the state. Masha attends an international school, i.e., it is for children from different countries. Now they have created an adaptation class. There are children her age and older. There are children even from our Kharkiv. There are 6 of them from Kharkiv, girls and boys, and from other cities of Ukraine. The children in their class are from 12 to 18 years old. They have maths taught by a teacher from Ukraine in Ukrainian. They learn Dutch. The teacher is Dutch. They've already written the tests last week. Everything is fine. That teacher also teaches other subjects, English in particular. Mostly, everyone communicates in English.
My son attends two schools. We kept Ukrainian and maths at the Ukrainian online school here because our math school is quite good. In the morning we wake up early and at 7:45, Dania is already at his first online lesson. Then we quickly run to the Dutch school, which is 10 minutes away. Lessons start there. Then he has a maths lesson at a Ukrainian online school via iPad, and he's in class until 3 p.m. I can work in the meantime, either in the morning or during the day. I run my marathon with the Ukrainian flag and raise money for charity. Every day. Yes, I run every day. Hi, are you all from Ukraine?
Yeah,
Are you also here because of the war?
yeah.
This is a Dutch artist, and this is her donation. It is handmade. Ukrainians have made most of what you see at the fair with their own hands, and they come here on the King's Day to sell it. We sell something from the center, but most of the goods are made by the hands of refugees. The money we raise will be used to buy food and medicine. We try to send more than 90% of what we have been collecting to Ukraine.
Tell us what's interesting here.
It's a kroshka.
Oh, kroshka, super.
These are the provincial kids. This is a spicy vinegar. This is a spicy oil. There was a shawarma. We had sold it out instantly.
What is the biggest problem during the King and Queen's Day in the Netherlands? The problem is rubbish. What are you going to do here now? We are going to thank the Dutch for their kindness. Not in word, but in deed.
Not bad.
Tell me who is that with you? That's my sister, Masha. Is she the warehouse manager? Yes, she is in charge of the warehouse and logistics or humanitarian aid and many other things. She packs more than 70 boxes a day. What did you do before the war?
Also logistics, but it was a container line.
So it was more or less the same occupation. Do you also get the feeling that you are doing something, and are you soothed by this activity?
Yes, it's the best antidepressant. When you do something, you don't think about what is happening now in Ukraine. And it's much easier that way. You're trying to do something helpful.
Oh, so It turns out we met practically all of the heroes at this place on the King's Day. I wasn't even expecting that. How are you doing? I'm running around, raising money, working somewhere out there. My son is picking up rubbish too, because we are grateful to a country that helps us. UNICEF does a survey every year, and there are several parameters they use to measure the level of happiness in children. And for many years, Dutch children have been number one. They are the happiest children among the 41 richest countries in the world. So many aspects are behind it, but among them is that children can communicate and spend enough time with both parents. The Dutch do balance private life, work life, hobbies, etc. And the second fact, which I think says a lot about the Dutch, and it's very interesting, is that they spend the least amount of money on their children in comparison with other European countries. Just think about this ratio between the money they spend and the level of happiness of the child. For the future, Ukrainians would also be interested to learn about it.
In the period that I'm here with my children, I have been working a lot in playgrounds. It's very unusual for me that Dutch children do whatever they want, and their moms and dads react to it completely normally. They're mostly wearing rubber boots, sometimes even barefoot. They are not dressed for the weather. I mean, I give my children a jacket, a warm jumper, and a hat, a cap. They wear short sleeves, light clothes, barefoot. They run by the stream, squelch with their hands, may fall and swim in the mud. And parents react normally, not like in our country. The playgrounds are interesting and very different. Not metal or plastic, red, yellow, green, blue. It's made of natural wood. Sometimes it can be a tree that is cut down and fixed up so that children can climb and jump on it. I see that they develop and educate independent behavior in children from a very young age. They clean up after themselves, sweep up, pick up toys. In our country, this is done with the help of nanny and educator parents. Here they have freedom.
I like their Dolce Vita style. I've even heard from my host that the Dutch are like the Italians, but up north. That is to say, they also have a Dolce Vita style. You can see it here. They do sports, they ride bicycles. You can always see them sitting outside with a glass of something, eating something, drinking something. They spend a lot of time with their children. They love their pets. And they are all about enjoying life. They have no misery. They are all okay. Intelligent, educated Dutch people, whom I respect a lot, and those were different people, said a very touching thing to me, that they are ashamed and that they personally feel responsible for the war in Ukraine. These are the Dutch. However, they are not our neighbors. Why do they say that? They say, firstly, we all knew what was happening during those 8 years in Ukraine, and we did nothing about it. Secondly, in 2016, when there was a referendum on European Union association with Ukraine, here the majority of the Dutch voted against it, and they remember that. The only feeling we and other Ukrainians who have come here have is gratitude, and it's enormous. But It shows the nature of the Dutch. They're very critical, they're thinking people, people who value freedom very much.
For me, it's also the dilemma. So, of course, I'm more than happy that we at least can do something by sharing a part of our house. But on the other hand, it feels very strange that Ukrainians are fighting for the freedom. We tend to take the freedom for granted.
If I'm thinking about the Ukraine people, my heart is bleeding, and sometimes I think I want to fight there, but it won't be the solution. Very important lesson. I think Ukraine people learned this now in 2 months, is that if you fight for your freedom, you're stronger than a modern weapon. So we have the grace and the possibility to help here, and in one and the other way, I hope we have also influence a little bit.
Yes, because there is a level above us, from leaders, from world, but we are in a level from normal people, and we need to feel the connection between everybody. And that's why I want to help Ukrainian people in Holland, that they feel that they are not alone.
Russia and Putin have no right to take the lives of children. So we have to concentrate our efforts and keep on fighting.
We mustn't lose faith in our beautiful future.
We have a house in Kiev, and I have a lower bed, and Leonia has an upper bed there, and there are stairs up which you can climb, and there you can rest and sleep quietly, and missiles fly, and people walk around with guns.
And who walks with guns?
Well, the enemies, but ours will win.
Will ours win?
Yeah, I forget about that.